Alright, NXT review is not going to be very long because I'm a bit fried. I'm very fried. Guys, living in New York ain't easy. And living in one of these old tenement type of buildings, it's hard. This building builds up a tremendous amount of heat with the bricks, and no matter what you do, it always feels hot. And I'm fried. So this is going to be short. I will tell you this. Watching this NXT was okay. It was good. Wasn't great, but it was good. And it does give us some build going into the Bash, which I believe is going to be tonight. Which is going to be a bit interesting, seeing that it is going to be on Sci-Fi. But let's not get this twisted. I still say this, and I know no one's agreeing with me, even though no one's saying it. NXT is getting the lion's share of whatever's needed here with this collaboration. Let's make it clear. Unless something dramatic happens on this TNA this Thursday, what I see here, it's still TNA NXT. Who's getting more? TNA is here. NXT is this. Tell me, who's getting more? I'll say it again. Let's put it in perspective. When we got Gallus versus the Rascals, you got a taste of what TNA's X Division is like. That's the truth. This is what we got with Trey Wentz and our Wes Lee. That's what you got right there. That is the X Division. People loved it. People was chanting for it. People were chanting for the Rascals. And it wasn't bad. The Rascals did win. Joe Henry came out. He was a little bit on commentary. You can see Booker T do not like him. But it does work. But here's the thing. Here's where many people are going to say, oh, this was awesome. Yeah, it was good. Seeing the Rascals on NXT was good. Seeing they did a great job in doing X Division style of wrestling is very good. But still, problem. What are we getting for TNA? What are we getting this Thursday? They better have something. Next, we get Brooks Jensen versus Levon Evans. The only thing that was different here was Sean Spears. It looks like Sean is going to be the mentor of a Brooks Jensen. Even though Biggs, how can I say this? Briggs is wanting Jensen to understand, I put my name on the line for you. And as you know, at the end of the show, once the match was over and Evan won, which doesn't make it any better for him. I'm sorry. I do not see Devon Evans special. I just don't. He's no better than any of the high flyers out there. Now that we have Cedric Alexander, who's now on NXT with Shantae Adonis, what makes Devon Evans so special? Nothing. He has no character. He's got some charisma. Yes, I'm about to say no, but he does have some charisma. But he's got no character. He's just bumping around. To be honest, he needs a lot of work. And I don't know why they gave him such high profile work here. I mean, I don't agree with it. They need to develop him properly, and I just don't see it. I still think he's going to replace Ricochet in a year. That's the way he looks. That's the way he looks to me personally. It's not the point he'll be ready in a year. I just believe they're going to replace him in a year. That's how it feels. But I am curious to see where are they going to go with Jensen, because that's where the focus is right now. It's not bad. But did we think Jensen was going to go to TNA? And he isn't. At least not yet, unless they are going to put him there this Thursday. And that's what I thought last week. That didn't happen. Next, title match, which I don't understand why they let it close the show. I don't understand why they didn't let it close the show. I'm not saying anything against the North American Championship. I'm not. You actually could have built this up for the next week. You could have done something with Ethan Page when it comes to Dante Chin. Not Chu, Chin. You see, I'm fried. The heat has got me. Guys, I'm like, they didn't need to go there. They didn't need to have him close the 1 hour main event. They didn't. You could have done a segment for the 1 hour main event for an Ethan Page and Dante. You could have done that. Trying to stem this off of what happened earlier that day because of Mensah still wanted to take the head off of Ethan Page and he's refusing to wrestle him for the title. And yes, there is a story building up for Mensah. And it's good to see they're doing it with him because they haven't done nothing with Mensah for so many months. Next to Metaphor, I'm glad to see it. But couldn't you done this as a main event itself instead of doing it a 1 hour main event? Really, look, it wasn't a bad match. It wasn't. Ethan did win. And then Mensah did get the pin, even though it was not a legal pin. He did wipe the floor with him, and then he's hitting the mat himself, and that is Mensah. Why couldn't this been something to close the show? I'm sorry, it should have closed the show instead of the North American Championship. It would have been more impactful. It would have helped Mensah. It would have gave Ethan a little bit more than what he's been getting. I truly believe that's what they needed to do, and they did not do it. Now, mixed tag, Out the Mud versus OC. Yes, I am jumping around. I'm going to do both women's matches next, but I don't want to do this now. Let me give it to you like this. Are we really getting something between Out the Mud and the OC? We're getting two factions fighting one another. Yeah. And I will give you this. At least they are doing something with Out the Mud, even though Scripps is not there anymore. Reggie's over at, I believe, GCW. I have not watched GCW. I know someone's going to keep saying that GCW is better. I'm sorry. Either I don't have the time to watch it, or because of how badly GCW have been produced, it makes me still very skeptical to even watch the damn thing. I'm sorry. I know eventually I'm going to check it, but I have no reason to right now because, honestly, GCW has looked like trash before, and it makes me worry that it's still trash, no matter how many things are going on with Matt Cardona. We did get the OC winning, but eventually they're going to have to do something maybe like a steel cage. I think that might be the best thing for all 6 of them, to do it in a steel cage. Or will they have the women do the steel cage? That might happen between Miss Parker and Mi Chen. And let's move on to both matches. Alright. What can I say here with JC James versus Lola Vice? I don't know. What are we getting with Lola Vice? Not a lot. Are we getting some with JC James and her faction? Yes. They still don't have a name as far as I know. Unless I missed it and I didn't hear them say it. It doesn't feel like it's an actual faction with a name like what happened with her when she was with Mandy Rose. They don't feel like they're legitimate until they got a faction name. It doesn't mean they're not doing some work between Jasmine as well as Fallon Henley and JC James as the leader at the moment. But seeing that JC James is still doing the mask, I don't know if her nose is healed. Probably by now it already has, but they're still playing up the fact that Cody Rhodes gave her his old mask. I don't know where they're going to go with this. When it comes to her in this damn mask, they're going to have to drop it eventually. They need to do something more with her. She should have already gone to the main roster already. But they don't think she's developed enough, or they just don't have the room. I'm just saying. Paxley versus Petrovic really didn't matter, because this is more about Paxley and Wendy Chu. And the doll, body and head coming together. And it makes you wonder, is this going to be a tag team? They could do it. You got the crazy girl with the other crazy girl that come together to make duo crazy. And they could do this as a tag team where the tag champs could actually go to NXT, which we haven't seen in a very long time. You could have the tag champs at least once go down to NXT and face a tag team. Because they're doing the same thing over and over and over again on Raw or very rarely SmackDown. This is what we got. And then with final match. Duke Hudson versus Ubafemi. Here's the thing. It was a good match. It was one of the better matches I've seen for Ubafemi, where he had to at least take offense from somebody and make it look good. And he did a decent job. Let's make this clear. Ubafemi is still green. He is. Some of his offense looked very choppy. Then you have Duke Hudson, who is a way more seasoned veteran than he is. And he looked like he can take the defense and he can give offense pretty well. You could see that he's more better than Ubafemi. Ubafemi is still very stiff in the ring, not just delivering his attacks, his offense, but also his defense. Let's make this clear. Ubafemi may have been a shot putter, and he might have been extremely strong, charismatic, and was really all over a great shot putter, but as a pro wrestler, he's still got a lot to learn. He is stiff in the ring. When he takes a hit, he doesn't look like he's bracing himself correctly. It looks like he can hurt himself. Now, it doesn't mean he can't get better. It looks like he will. But let's make it clear. He just needs work. And as much as everybody loves him, and I'm not against him, I like him, but still, he needs some work. He is stiff in that ring. And I'm not talking about wiping somebody out. He's got to make it look good. When he's up against an opponent that's nearly his same size or maybe bigger, he doesn't know how to really handle it that well. He's trying, but he needs a lot of work. He won his match, no problem. Of course, moving on. But what does this really mean for Ubafemi? Yes, he's gone through most of the roster now. He's also gone through all the big guys there. But the question is, what are we going to do? Is he going to go up against Shantae Adonis? I believe that's Adonis' full name. I've forgotten. It's been so long. Cedric Alexander. Definitely is going to maybe meet him. The question is, what are they going to do next? And are they going to make Cedric and Adonis mean something? And will they go to TNA? Probably not. As I said, TNA is here. NXT is here. Unless something big happens this Impact, because they can schedule stuff in and make it look good, we're still like this. And anybody keeps saying that this is great. Yeah, you may get something on social media, but what does it really do to help the company? It helps the wrestlers. No problem. The wrestlers are great going to NXT. They get more exposure on NXT. But does that really translate back to TNA and on Impact? Will it make any difference when it comes to the Impact Plus, well, not Impact, but TNA Plus shows or the pay-per-view? It is going to be a big question. And I know people would say 4,000 seats. It means nothing when it comes to your show. Listen what I say. They complained about ratings. Ratings still mean something, no matter what anybody says. If they don't get good ratings here, but they have good pay-per-views here, there is a disconnect. Like what's going on with AEW. They got good pay-per-views, but their ratings tank. And if TNA's the same way, if they only get, 50,000 views? What does that mean? I'm just saying. Peace.